So here's a question for you. Why would the same plant produce two remedies that do completely opposite things to your body? And more importantly, which one could be making your symptoms worse? There's an ancient tree that's been used as medicine for thousands of years, the Sambucus nigra, the European elder. In this country, we find the American black elder, Sambucus nigra, subspecies canadensis. But here's what's strange. Herbalists treat the berries and flowers like they're from entirely different plants. They're prescribed for opposite conditions, and they work in opposite directions in your body. If you use the wrong one at the wrong time, you could be fighting against your own healing. So, what's actually happening? Let me take you back to something you probably experienced as a kid. Remember how you felt different in the summer versus the winter? Not just the temperature, but your actual energy. In the summer, you stayed up late, ran around, felt expansive. In the winter, you wanted to sleep more, curl up, pull inward. Your body wasn't broken in the winter. It was responding to temperature the way every living thing does. And this is the key to understanding the elder tree's secret. Traditional herbalists don't just look at what a plant contains, they look at what it does energetically. Is it warming or cooling? Does it move things outward or pull them inward? Does it dry or moisten? These aren't mystical concepts. They're observations about how plants interact with your physiology. So here's the answer to that second question. Elderberries and elderflowers work in opposite directions because they're harvested at opposite times and they've absorbed opposite energies from the seasons. The flowers bloom late spring. They're expansive, opening, moving outward. Berries ripen in autumn, contracting, pulling inward, consolidating. But this creates another mystery. How does the same DNA produce such different medicine? And what does this mean for you when you choose to use each one? Think about what's happening in the plant during the season. In the late spring, early summer, the elder tree is in full expansion mode. Sap is rising, energy is moving up and out. The flowers are literally the tree reaching toward the sun, opening and releasing. They're light, aromatic, slightly cooling. When you harvest elderflowers and make them into tea or syrup, you're capturing that outward moving, opening energy. When it comes to late summer and fall, everything reverses. The tree is pulling energy downward and inward. The berries are dense, heavy, dark purple, almost black. They're the tree's way of consolidating all that summer energy into concentrated medicine for winter. When you harvest elderberries, you're capturing that inward drawing, protecting energy. Now watch what happens when you match these energetics to human conditions. The plant's seasonal energy determines its medicinal action. Elderflowers move things out and up. They open, release, and cool. Elderberries move things in and down. They consolidate, protect, and warm subtly. But here's the dangerous part that most people don't know. If you use elderflower when you need elderberry, or vice versa, you could actually prolong your illness. So how do you know which one your body needs? Here's a practical guide. Use elderflower when your body needs to release something outward. Specifically, the very first sign of a cold or flu, when you feel it coming, but you're not sick yet. Elderflower tea helps open your pores and encourages a slight fever, which pushes the pathogen out before it settles deep. You're basically helping your immune system expel the invader. Use elderflowers also for sinus congestion that feels stuck and hot, because elderflowers cooling and gently drying. It helps open the channels and move stagnant mucus out. Think of it as creating flow where there's blockage. They're also good for spring allergies with hot, inflamed symptoms. Those red eyes, sneezing, that hot feeling in your face. Elderflower cools the heat and helps your body release the histamine response that's gotten overactive. They're also for mild fevers where you need to sweat it out. Traditional use is elderflower tea with peppermint and yarrow to promote therapeutic sweating. You're helping the fever do its job of purging. The energetic pattern here: hot, stuck, needs to move out. Now we turn to elderberry when your body needs to protect and consolidate, specifically when you're already deep in a cold or flu. Once you're sick, and I mean really sick, elderberries are going to be your ally. They're antiviral, especially against influenza. But more importantly, they help your immune system mount a defense without depleting you. They're building, not releasing. They're for prevention during cold and flu season. Elderberry syrup, taken daily in the fall and winter, helps you build your defenses before you need them. Think of it as shoring up the fortress walls. They're also good for recovery phase after illness, when you're past the acute phase, but feel depleted. Elderberries are nourishing. They're a tropho-restorative for the lungs. They help rebuild what the illness took from you. And they're for chronic conditions with deficiency. Here we're looking at weak immunity, exhaustion, feeling run down. Elderberries tonify. They strengthen over time. Their energetic pattern, they're for deficiency, weakness, when we need to build up and protect. So the answer is, you use elderflower when your body has something to expel and energy to do it. You use elderberry when your body needs defending and fortifying. And there's another layer to this that changes everything. What if I told you that mixing them together, something a lot of commercial products do, might actually cancel out the benefits of both? Why would that be? This is where energetics gets really practical. Elderflower says, open up, release, move outward, cool down. Elderberry says, close the ranks, protect, conserve, warm up. These are opposite directives to your body. Imagine you're coaching a basketball team. You wouldn't tell your players to press forward aggressively and fall back into defense at the same time. You'd create confusion, and that's what happens when you combine elderflower and elderberry in the same formula. The signals conflict. Now, some herbalists do intentionally combine them, but only in very specific circumstances, usually in small amounts as part of a larger formula where the other herbs are providing the primary direction. But as the main medicine, you want one clear signal. This is why traditional herbalists kept them separate. Elderflower preparations in spring and summer, elderberry in the fall and winter. And they give you a real-world example. You feel a cold coming on. with a scratchy throat, a little fatigue. You take an immune support blend that has both elderberry and elderflower. The elderflower part tries to open your pores and push the pathogen out. The elderberry part tries to fortify your defenses and keep you strong, and your body's getting mixed signals. Instead of a swift response, you get a muddled one. The cold now settles in because neither action was strong enough. A better choice would be elderflower tea every 2 to 3 hours at the first sign. Make it with that hot water, cover it while it's steeping, and drink warm, and help your body expel the illness before it digs in. Now, yes, combining them can work against you because you're asking your body to do two opposite things. Now, here's a final question, and it's the most important one. What does this pattern of opposites teach us about healing in general? And what other opposite medicines are we missing? Remember my first question? Why would one plant produce two opposite remedies? Well, the answer is profound, because healing is not one-directional. We've been taught that medicine is about adding something to kill the virus, to boost the immune system, to supplement the deficiency. That's the elderberry approach. Build, fortify, add. But sometimes healing is about subtraction. Release, open, expel, and that's the elderflower approach. The elder tree teaches us that true medicine knows when to do which. Remember, your body is constantly balancing between opening and closing, releasing and retaining, heating and cooling, expanding and contracting. When you're out of balance, you don't always need more of something. Sometimes you need less. Sometimes you need to open what's closed, and sometimes you need to close what's too open. This is the wisdom hiding in plain sight in your backyard. And it's not just elder. Look around. Green walnuts are astringent and tightening versus ripe walnuts, which are nourishing and building. Spring nettle is cleansing and moving versus fall nettle seed, which is restorative and grounding. Nature does not make one-size-fits-all medicine. It makes medicine that meets you where you are. So, the next time you reach for that bottle of immune support, ask yourself, does my body need to release or protect right now? Because the elder tree already knows the answer. It's been giving us both for thousands of years.